Welcome to NFL World, where the NFL starts and ends. I'm your host, Jacob. And before we get into our predictions for week 5, we got to get into one recap that we forgot on Monday's video, which was the Eagles and Buccaneers. It completely slipped my mind that I only remembered after recording. So, let's look at this somewhat quickly, but also break down exactly what happened. In this game between the Eagles and Buccaneers, the scoring at the end of the game was Eagles 31, Buccaneers 25. But this is the frustrating thing about the Philadelphia Eagles. They don't play a great game in the sense of they're great in the first half, they're great in the second half. They either play a great first half and a terrible second half, or a great second half and a terrible first half. They've done it the last 2 weeks. And it's frustrating. In this game, they were up 24-6 at halftime. And then in the second half of this game, they didn't really do anything. Jalen Hurts was 0 of 8. That was not good. They can't really run the ball. Like, Jalen Hurts was 130 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. He ran for a couple other touchdowns. He led them in rushing, which is never a good sign when your quarterback leads you in rushing. He had 9 rushes for 62 yards. Goddard, who caught the 2 touchdowns, but had 4 catches and 37 yards along those 2 touchdowns. Like, where's A.J. Brown? Where's Devontae Smith? Well, this is the problem with this team. And it's every year for the last few years, last 3 or 4 years, everyone's like, oh, A.J. Brown is mad at the Eagles. Why is that? Why is this happening? And it's like, okay, he's not going to get traded. We know this. He's not going to get traded. There's no reason. There's no logical reason. But this is an every year occurrence where they depend on running the football or they throw the ball to more to Devontae Smith. And A.J. Brown gets a little annoyed by it. And he says something. And then all of a sudden, they start force feeding him the ball. The offense is great. And then no one talks about it anymore. This happens every year. And I say this because it's happened for the last 3 years. It's been happening over and since he's been in Philadelphia, this has happened. They run the ball a lot. He gets frustrated he's not getting the football. Or they throw the ball to Devontae Smith. He gets frustrated he's not getting the football. He says something in the media, or in this case on social media, and he said, I want to get the ball. I want the football. They're going to get him the ball. And once he gets it, it's all going to be gone. It's all going to be a wash, and we're going to move on about our day. That's what happens every time. They do need to get him the ball, though. They absolutely do need to get him the football. You don't have a running game currently. Saquon's not been very effective, not because he's a bad player. We know that. We know that's not true at all. Teams are saying, well, until they actually throw the football 20 times, we're just going to stop them from running football. We're just going to put everyone in the box, force them to have to throw it, which they don't want to do, and that'll be it. And that's what they've done. And Saquon hasn't been as effective. They aren't getting those big time runs. And A.J. Brown is not feeding off that because he's not getting the opportunity with the football. Neither's Devontae Smith. Dallas Goedert, I guess, is the one guy who's benefiting from it, but they're not throwing the ball a lot. You're asking your team to play a certain style. They're going to get away from that because they're going to have to at some point. They got to open it up, throw the ball to Devontae Smith, throw the ball to A.J. Brown. When they played the Rams, they put a 5'11 corner, 5'10 corner on A.J. Brown. And A.J. Brown didn't get the ball until the second half. That should never happen. You see that's a mismatch. My big body wide receiver is going to beat your guy. My receiver is going to beat your guy. That's what's going to happen. He's too small. I'm going to go. We're just going to run gas. We're just going to gash him. And they don't do it. And then they started getting into the football, and then they won the game because they actually threw the ball deep. Like, those are things that they aren't doing. And it's causing problems for them. They won this game, but they had a terrible second half. And I think also, if you go to the Buccaneers side of this, Baker Mayfield, 289, Bucky Irving, 15 carries, 63 yards. He also had 5 catches for 102 yards and a touchdown. This is going to be the Buccaneers team all year long. The way they are playing the game, they're going to keep themselves in it long enough, and then they're going to try and win the final 2 minutes. The interception that Baker threw near the goal line was a drive killer and basically cost them the game. But that's what's going on. That's how the Bucs are going to play. And their injuries that they've suffered, Bucky Irving's out with a sprained foot. He'll be out long term. That's what was described, long term foot injury. Mike Evans is banged up with his hamstring. He's still going to miss about a week or two. There's a lot of injuries. They have injuries on this offensive line. But they keep playing this way. And when Chris Godwin gets his feet underneath him, he'll be okay. But Eagles are having this situation where they don't play great in a half. The offense on the other side gets going. And then they have a great second half, or they have a great first half and have a terrible second half, and they let the other team get back into it. And that can't happen. Not against good teams. If you're the Super Bowl champions, you cannot have that happen to you. Period. And that's been happening to them. They did win this game, but they got to be better because it's right now they're showing cracks in the armor, and that's not a good thing. Especially when you have teams every week they're playing this, they're moving the ball, they are able to move the ball against you. They're gonna say, "Hey, we don't make this mistake, we don't make this mistake, and we don't make this mistake. We're gonna we're gonna win this game. We're gonna win the ball game, and we're gonna beat the Eagles, and we're gonna beat the team that was in the Super Bowl on top of all." Next up, for Week 6 and our predictions, we're gonna start off in MetLife Stadium, where the Dallas Cowboys come to town and face off against the New York Jets. The Jets are getting plus 2.5. This is one of the very few Cowboy games that they're favored in because Vegas does not trust this Jets defense. And how could they? The Jets defense has not been very good. They've been not disciplined properly. They're very undisciplined. They don't do things in a normal way. They're turning the ball over on offense. Justin Fields is actually playing really well. They had a play against the Dolphins. It was an offensive pass interference, which we can debate that until the cows come home, whether it was or wasn't. But it's a great ball by Justin Fields to get the ball to Garrett Wilson. It gets called back. He later in the game throws the ball to Garrett Wilson for a touchdown, and this one was actually caught, and they didn't have that penalty. So there you go. And there was a great 4th-and-1 play where he looks like he's dead to rights, and he reverses field and picks up the first down, and not just the first down, but scores a touchdown. Like, Justin Fields is keeping you in these games. Like, this defense is just bad. The Dolphins, who haven't been a great running team, ran the ball well against them. The Dolphins, who have not been the best passing team in the world, have passed the ball well against them. Those are things that cannot happen to you. And then they got turnover because the Jets have been careless with the football. They fumble the ball near the goal line right before they're going to score. Those are things that cannot happen to you. So you got to talk about that. I will say this, though. There is some big injuries that have to be talked about. None of them are bigger than Braylon Allen, who suffered a MCL sprain, is expected to put him on injured reserve, so he's not going to play in this game. That's a big loss. It's going to be more of Breece Hall. This offensive line hasn't been the best, but it hasn't been the worst either. So hopefully you can keep up, but I don't think the offensive line is really going to have that much of an issue this week because against the Cowboy defense, that can't get pressure. As bad as the Jets have been defensively, the Cowboys have been worse defensively. They are really bad. You can't ask your offense week in and week out to score 40 points and then you give up 40. You can't do that. That's what happened. I I can't say this any more than I'm currently saying it right now. You can't in a game like the Pack against the Packers. Your offense has them on the ropes. The quarterback is playing really good, 3 touchdowns. He's completing over 70% of his passes, not just for this game, but for the year. For the year, he's completing 70% of his passes. You cannot ask him to do any more. Their number one wide receiver is out. They brought in George Pickens in the offseason, and he has 8 catches for 134 yards and 2 touchdowns. Your quarterback runs for a touchdown. You have a running back that runs for a touchdown. Your tight end catches a touchdown. You cannot ask for any more from this offense. They dominated, and your defense gave it all up. You get into overtime, it's the same thing. They had a 6-minute drive, they kick a field goal. Your defense can't even get a stop. That is how bad they are. They had what was it, like a minute left in the game in the fourth quarter, and the Packers just marched down the field and kick a field goal because the defense can't stop a screen pass, they can't stop the run game, they can't do anything. They can't sack Jordan Love at all. They're making dumb penalties, dumb choices. They're not doing good things. And in the overtime period, the Packers only have 4 minutes to get down the field, and yet you cannot stop them at all. You got to 1 4th down, and you were lucky you got there. And your defense was not good enough to make a play. That's how bad they are in that game. If you look at them statistically, and I can't stress this out enough. I don't like stats. I really don't like stats to talk about stats. I love watching the game and seeing how the game unfolds. But when your defense on third down is giving up 11 yards, the third down on average, almost 12 yards is like 11.8 or something like that. When you're giving up that much on average, that means you can have a negative rush on the first down, a stuffed run on the second down, and then your defense is just going to let them get the first down on third down because that's what's happening. And how I saw this was one point in the game, early in the game, the Packers had a third and long. It was like a 3rd and 18 or something like that. The Cowboys nearly let them get the first down on third down because they picked up 16 yards. It's absurd. It is absurd. Every week, it's like this. You can't ask your quarterback, your running back, your offense to do more than they already are. Because you're telling them, don't turn the ball over, don't make mistakes, don't get bad penalties, don't punt the football. And yeah, score 40 points a game, and we're going to give up 40 points, and you're just going to hope you win. That's not fair to them. Now, against the Jets, their defense hasn't been great either. But they've at least shown at times they can do something. You haven't shown anything. You're statistically bad. You're going to be statistically the worst defense in NFL history if this keeps up. That's how bad you are if you're the Cowboys. So it's not great for both sides. But Dallas is worse. The only reason Dallas is favored is because their offense is good. That's the only reason they're favored. You're favored probably for the next 2 weeks. That's it. You've probably going to be favored 3 or 4 times this year, and that's it. You're expecting your offense to win you games. That's how bad you are. It's really bad. After saying all that, I do think the Cowboys find a way to win. And the reason they find a way to win is because I think with no Braylon Allen and it being Brees Hall, it's going to force the Jets to have to throw the football more, which is not something that the Cowboys are particularly good at defending. but they've at least shown at times that they're competent in that. So give me the Cowboys. They win this game, but it's not going to be pretty. 30-24 is the final. Our next game after that long rant is the Broncos and Eagles. Eagles are favored by 3.5. The Broncos, the last time they played, they crushed the Cincinnati Bengals. They just crushed them. They didn't even blitz, really. They didn't blitz. They blitzed like maybe a handful of times. They got pressure with their front four. They played coverage, and they forced Jake Browning to beat them. That's what they did. The Eagles, we've said that early in the video, they got to throw the football. They got to make it easier. Vance Joseph will come after you on defense, and that's what I think would happen against the Eagles. But they don't have to. They showed that. They don't have to come after you with 6, 7, 8-man pressures. They can go after you with your front four and then just play coverage. Now, will they do that? I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I'm impressed with this Broncos defense. I really am. And this Eagles offense has to throw the football more and try. I know it's a tough matchup with Moss and Surtain being the cornerbacks for this Broncos defense, but they gotta try. The Eagles have to try. You gotta be more effective. And you gotta give your defense a chance to get breath in. Because this Broncos offense, which is probably the weakest of the two sides, when Bo Nix is accurate, they win the game. When Bo Nix is not, they don't. That's pretty much as simple as it gets. You're going to have to get after him because he can run the football. He can throw the football. Get after him. It's what you're trying to accomplish. With all that being said, I have the Eagles winning, but it's not going to be a pretty game either. I have the Eagles winning 27-24, and there's going to be a lot of questions about this offense going to week 6. But we'll see what happens. I think it's going to be a fun game to watch, though. I know I'm going to be watching the Cowboys game and Jets game, but I'll have this game on my phone. I'll have probably 2 games on my phone and watching this Cowboys Jets game. Like, I will be really tuned into this to see what happens. Our next game is the Houston Texans go on the road against the Baltimore Ravens, who are getting plus 1.5. The Ravens are not favored in this one. No Lamar Jackson. He's out nursing that hamstring injury. We'll see about Ronnie Stanley. Doubt it. He plays. We'll see about Kyle Van Noy. I don't know if he plays. Roquan Smith doesn't look like he's going to play. Don't know about Marlon Humphrey. Don't know about Nate Wiggins. So the Ravens are really banged up. So if you're the Texans, this is your opportunity to beat the Ravens. This is your opportunity. It doesn't matter when you beat them. It doesn't matter who you beat. It's when you beat them, is my say. It doesn't matter who you beat. It matters when you beat them. Right now, Lamar Jackson's not playing, and Cooper Rush is a quarterback. The last time you faced Cooper Rush, you beat him. You beat him last year. You know you can beat him. We'll see how this game goes. I expect a heavy dose of Derrick Henry. I expect them to try to run the ball a lot more than they normally would because they don't want Cooper Rush to throw it that much. I expect the Texans offense to try to do some other things and make it easier for your quarterback, CJ Stroud, because I don't think the Ravens can pressure. They just got bad news with Nandi Medebike, who's going to be out for the year with a neck injury. Hopefully he gets healthy. And like I hate seeing injuries like that, but hopefully he gets healthy. Our thoughts and prayers are with him and his family. But he's got to try to get healthy as much as he can. And he's a dominant force, and it's sad that you see a guy have to end his season because of an injury, especially a neck injury. With all that being said, give me the Texans to win this. I don't like how the Ravens are playing right now. And they're going to lose their 3rd straight game, and now we're really going to have conversations about this Ravens team moving forward. So give me the Ravens to lose this. The Texans win this game. But it's going to be a weird game. I have the Texans winning to 20. I don't see Cooper Rush and a Cooper Rush offense scoring more than 20 points. I just don't see it. So 28-20 is the final. The Texans will win in this game. Moving on to the Lions Bengals. Quick note before we jump into this prediction: you can only flex NFL games after week 5, so this game would have been flexed before had it been week 6, because they've already done it. But this game is not being able to be flexed currently. So the Lions are 10.5-point favorites in Cincinnati. The Lions have been playing great football the last 2 weeks, and really the last 3 weeks. They played really well against Chicago too. Give me the Lions to win. I don't even have to tell you. The Bengals are so bad. They made so many mistakes against the Broncos, and I think the Lions are way better than the Broncos. So give me the Lions to win. It's just going to be one of those games that's not going to even be fun to watch. Lions win big, 30-3. I don't think Jake Browning will look good. I don't think that offense is going to look good. I think they're going to be more disarray. I think we're going to have more conversations about Zach Taylor potentially losing his job. Like, this is going to be really bad. And I would expect if you are betting on this game and you're betting on the Lions, bet everything on the Lions. They're winning this game big time. Moving on to the Sunday night football matchup between the Patriots and the Bills in Orchard Park, New York. Bills are 7.5-point favorites. Patriots have played good the last 2 weeks. I like how the Patriots have played. They've played some good games. They've played well at times. They've played bad at times. Like the game against the Steelers, they were not perfect. They turned the ball over way too much. But they were in the game. They did enough positive things to be in the game. Maybe that's more the Steelers being so bad, but they were in the game. And then they were really good last week against the Panthers. The Bills, they're 4-0. And yes, they had a weird game against the Saints, but they won. Josh Allen was not throwing the ball a lot, but they still scored 30. James Cook looked really good. I don't know if James Cook will really be a factor in this game because of how good the Patriots' run defense is. So I'm expecting this game to be on the shoulders of Josh Allen, and I expect him to deliver and get this Bills team to 5-0. I think the Patriots' offense is decent. This is going to be a big test, and I don't know how that's going to fare for them. Give me the Bills to win this game. It's going to be a fun game, though. I have the Bills winning 30-20. It's going to be a 10-point difference, but that's okay. I think, though, it will be an exciting game for both sides. And let's just see what happens with the Patriots. I want to see how Drake May plays under the lights on Sunday Night Football. I really want to see that. But I have the Bills winning and getting the 5-0. Monday Night Football, our final game, is between the Chiefs and Jaguars. Plus 3.5 for the Jaguars. The Vegas odds makers are make us saying they have great faith in the Chiefs. The Jaguars are one of those teams you don't expect to be 3-1. Honestly, I'm surprised they're 3-1. They are one of those weird teams. They're very under the radar, but they've played well. Their defense has played well. And like I know they went against the 49ers, and the 49ers offensive line has not been very good. I get that. But I don't think the Chiefs offensive line is that great either. The Chiefs beat the Ravens because the Ravens don't have a pass rush right now. And that's my concern for the Chiefs is, were the Chiefs really good, or were the Ravens that injured that they couldn't do anything? And it's weird to say that because you still had Roquan Smith, you still had Nate Wiggins, you still had Marlon Humphrey going into that game, but you didn't have Kyle Van Noy, and that caused problems. I really think it did. I think until the Chiefs prove that they're that team moving forward, that they can be that team, I think the fact that they got Xavier Worthy back in that game really helped them. But I think the Ravens were just so bad. I don't know if they could do anything. And this Chiefs team defensively, they looked good, but the Jaguars are very balanced. Since Liam Cohen's got there, they're a very balanced team. ETN has run the ball well. He looks back to his rookie form. Um, Trevor Lawrence has looked good. They've thrown the ball pretty well. The defense has been really good. I've been impressed with them. There's a lot of positives here. So this is more of a wait and see match. I think 3.5 is a lot, honestly. It's gonna be one of those weird games. I just have that feeling. Monday Night Football. It's a weird game. It's gonna be one of those weird games in Jacksonville, in Duval County. I have the Chiefs winning, but it's gonna be a weird game with a weird score. 24-22. But I think there will be more questions than answers for this Chiefs team moving forward. And I think if the Jaguars keep it close, you got to be impressed with how they are playing. Because they are playing really well. But I have the Chiefs winning 24-22. Let me know in the comments who you have winning this week. And are the Bengals in deep trouble? For NFL World, I'm Jacob Hebert, out.